Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to Talking Reds. Just a quick update on Florian Wirtz. Last night we got some breaking news on Florian Wirtz. Liverpool have made a third bid. That came out last night. We did a stream last night at 7 o'clock. We covered all the news, everything. We thought everything was done. We thought everything was done last night. We thought that's it. Not what's going to come out. But again, last night Paul Joyce came out of it. A few other people came out of it as well. Liverpool have made a third bid for Florian Wirtz. So I thought, you know what? Let's do a little stream this morning. Me, Reese, I think Naj going to come in as well. So make sure you do. If you have joined us this morning, welcome into Talking Reds. Make sure you do hit the like button on the video. It would help us out massively. Also, if you are new, if you want to be updated on Liverpool news, on the Florian Wirtz news, on Kirk's news, whatever you want to do, and love Liverpool content in general, please hit that subscribe button to help us out as well. Thank you everyone for watching this morning. Thank you for joining us, Reese. Florian Wirtz out. Let's go over the news first. What Paul Joyce did report: Liverpool have submitted a revised offer for Bayer Leverkusen's Florian Wirtz of £113 million. Leverkusen want £126 million, but Liverpool are unwilling to meet the Germans' full asking price. Let's get Najan now as well. So what it was is £100 million is a guaranteed fee, is a fixed fee, and then £13 million in add-ons is the spoken words on that. So third and final bid. That's what it seems to be. So basically, Jen said that what is going on. So we bidded £113 million, £100 million. That is guaranteed fixed fee. Whether it's installments or not, it's still a fixed fee. That's definitely Bayer Leverkusen going to get, and then £13 million add-ons. However, Leverkusen are asking for £126 million, but Liverpool have also said that we're unwilling to meet the full asking price. This could be the final bid, Reese. Is this the bid good that's going to get it all done, do you think?
I think so. For me, because the amount obviously they want 126, but the amount we've offered, if they want to let him go this season, no one else is going to give them that this big sum of over 100 million. And two, it said something there that they don't want Wirtz to approach the final year of his being the last year of his contract next year. So for me, obviously, if that was to happen, a few other teams come in next year, but they get less money, and he's only interested in coming to Liverpool. So I think he's pushing anyway behind the scenes. I think there's also a compromise there because something come out saying that that bid was on the table from earlier on in the week, but it's only just announced now. And then you got to remember, they got a goalie from Brentford. I did say that there's some sort of link there. They got a goalie from Brentford, and Brentford were able to get Keller. So I do think that deal will get done. I don't think Edwards and that are stupid enough for me to. You walk away and you've gone all in, because that don't really make us look good. I mean, that makes us look weak. So I do think it will get done. It's been a bit frustrating that it's dragged on, but I do think that will get done at some point next week, and Kirk's as well. So yeah, I'm confident that bid should be enough.
Good afternoon, Mickey. I feel very nervous, says Hash, says here. Seems like Baylor don't want to let him go, but that's why they prolong the saga. Jen said, I thought it was all done. I thought it seemed like that, Jen. It seems like that. But again, different reporters coming out with different things. It's sort of mixed reports. You're talking, Romano's been saying that he would go soon. There's been Kicker coming out, Spot Build yesterday and this morning saying that pretty much it's near enough done deal. It's looking pretty much there. It's just Liverpool have to make sure that bid's enough for Leverkusen to say yes, and that's the situation. We have made a third bid, according to Paul Joyce, and we are waiting for if it's accepted or rejected by Bayer Leverkusen. And Paul Joyce also said that we might not bid more than that. That could be it. We can't go higher than that. We don't really want to match the price that Leverkusen are asking for because we think it's overpriced. But as Mickey said here, we could end up with egg on our face by underbidding, just like Lavia. We could lose this. I mean, this is why I compared it to the Lavia deal, because it is, if you keep underbidding, at some point, it's going to be frustrating for the player more than most, because Wirtz is been quite clear in his thoughts on this situation. I think it's quite clear that Wirtz wants Liverpool. And that's of every report I've said that. We've said, sorry, Sandscom post the other day that links to Liverpool as well. Naj, do you think Wirtz gets frustrated at this deal at some point?
No, I think I'm still not worried, to be honest. I really start not worried. I think, the initial payment is what I think everyone's sort of missing out on. Like that's originally it was 83 million, wasn't it? Like the initial payment, and I think what everyone's sort of like not looking at is they're going to get 100 million up front. That's not euros, it's pounds. Like that's a lot of money. And then obviously the rest will be, I don't know, installments, and then the rest would be add-ons. Yeah. So, I mean, as from a Bayer Leverkusen point of view, it'd be pretty stupid to turn down 100 million up front, because I don't think there's any club really right now that could do that. And the thing is that Wirtz already given his word that he's coming to Liverpool. It's quite evident he is, you know, with this Instagram post and stuff like that. I'm not worried, and I get the sort of reporters trying to make a bit of a story out of it and stuff like that, which is fine. But I think the main thing is looking at that upfront fee. 100 million is a lot of money, and I think that's sort of where the bid lies, to be honest. Because, like I said, I think that's what Bayer Leverkusen want, the initial money, because they can go and spend that now straight away, can't they? Yeah, I think I agree with Reece. I think this is the final bid, and I think it'll be accepted. I think the add-ons will be sort of accumulate up to 130 million euros. What's the 130 million euros or pounds bid? Is it
130 million pounds?
Pounds, yeah.
So 100 million pound fixed. They'll get that, whether it's installments or whether it's done in installments. They're guaranteed to get that. That's what it's going to get. But then obviously the add-ons could include like appearances, goals, whatever. It's included in that.
I've heard the 100 million up front though, like completely up front. 100 million just all at one go. That's what I've heard. And I think that's where it lies in. You know, say if like a Bayern Munich come in, you know, obviously they were very heavily interested in Wirtz and he picked Liverpool. I don't think they could do that. I mean, he did it with Harry Kane, if you remember. He did 100 million up front. I don't think they can do that now. I don't think they'll be able to do it. You know, not with signing Palinha and Elise last year. You know, I think Elise was up front as well for 60 million, a lot of money. And I don't know about Palinha, but there's a few others he signed as well last season. So, and did he spend like 70 million on Kim Min-jae the season before that as well?
Something like that, yeah. Something high.
They haven't really sold anyone, Bayern. I mean, obviously they're a huge club, but they haven't really sold anyone, particularly in the last couple of years. So I don't know. I don't know whether they could do that, but I've got no issue with it anyway. Now I think if Fabrizio Romano's tweeting it and he's so confident on it, I don't think he's going to put his neck on the line for it like that. I mean, he sort of has before, but he's never gone to this extent. Like this is going to be done.
There's always wiggle room to get out of it, because he's always said, "Look, here we go soon." There's always wiggle room to get out of it, because if it doesn't happen, it's like, well, things change dramatically, which it probably has. There's always wiggle room to get out of it. I think with Romano, he wants to be first. He just wants to be first. It's like, well, I said done deal like 2 weeks ago, even though it wasn't a done deal. I just want to, he wants to be first. And at the end of the day, he said, near enough a done deal, he'll go soon. Rather than apologise, he's actually telling us what is actually going on. He apologised, basically said, look, a bid's happened, 113 million, 13 million in add-ons, and Liverpool won't go above that.
Yeah. I mean, what you say about, you saying about him going into his last year of his contract as well. Like, yeah, no, they don't want to do that because they're going to lose significant money on him. Like I say, I think it all lies with that. I think the bid now, what it is, 130 million. I think that is like, you're sort of being a little bit cheeky if you're asking for more than that, I think. Like, maybe 120, but like, that'd be it's cheeky. I think you get.
Let me ask you a question. If it's 10 million the difference between getting him or not getting him, is that on Liverpool or is that on Leverkusen for being greedy, or is that on Liverpool not paying that extra 10 million to get their man?
So on both.
Or is it a mixture of both?
It's a mixture of both.
Yeah.
Both. I mean, it's what I think people have obviously got a little bit worried about. And like you said, you're not going to tell people to not be worried and stuff like that. I'm not worried. I know there's how negotiations work and stuff like that. You don't go, when you're buying a car or something, you don't go to, I'll buy this for 10 grand. You try and get money off it. That's what Liverpool are going to try and do, which is what negotiations are essentially. But I think that Wirtz will. I think he'll come in the next week. I'm not worried. I just think it's too late in the negotiation now. And like, I think if Bayer Leverkusen pulled out, they'd almost like, have a player in the hands who doesn't really want to be there.
Yeah.
And I think it makes sense to just get it over and done with.
I think at some point someone's going to have to give. Someone's going to have to give in this, and this is what these technical directors. This is what sporting directors do. They probably go in with big egos, right? They probably do. They probably got big egos, and they want to go in and get it settled. They don't want to lose this. It's like a battle, isn't it? It's like a battle.
Yeah.
It's like a battle. You sort of leave like, do you feel hard done by, or do you feel both sides need to be satisfied with the situation? Leverkusen need to make sure they're getting everything they can for their best player and the Bundesliga player of the season twice in a row. And fair enough. And also, you got to think about what they missed out on in terms of Frimpong because of the release clause. So they want to get a little bit more on that as well. Whilst Liverpool still want to get their man, but still not overspend at the same time. And I get it for both sides. And again, what does worry me slightly, if anything does worry me, I'm not really worried as anything. I think it is done, like Storm in the Teacup says there, guys, it's done. I think he's going to be a Liverpool player. But if anything does worry me, is if they reject this bid, like Mickey said here. I'm worried if they walk away, if the bid is rejected, basically. It's not accepted. Of course, again, Edwards and Hughes were going in there as stubborn, and they say, we're not willing to pay what you asked for first, otherwise we've just been wasting our time doing all the negotiations. Do I think this bid's going to be accepted? I want to say yes, but knowing our luck in transfers, the answer is probably no. But I think we'll get it done. Whether it costs 5 or 10 million more as well, I don't know if we'd go back and do that. It's really frustrating. It is frustrating, but this is what you have to do to get one of the best players in the world right now. And this is a big transfer fee and a lot of money being thrown around, so it's got to be done. We're waiting for the new kit launch for Wirtz. That's going to be a long time, though, Donny King, because 1st of August, that is. I don't think we're waiting until 1st of August for the Addons deal to be coming in. It's strategic, said Donny King. It is. It would make sense to not wait for Addons, but if it was earlier on, if Addons was earlier on, but because it's 1st of August, we won't wait another 2 months. Not a chance. I don't think Arne Slot would let that happen at all. But yeah, I do think it will be done. It's just thing is, Jen. I think this is negotiations, Jen. This is just it. This is football negotiations. This is the two of the biggest clubs in the world going head to head in one of the best players in the world, football. And we've got an Edwards and a Hughes on one side against Leverkusen, who's got very good. They've got very good recruitment side as well. So they've got some brilliant people in charge of there as well. Head, and neither want to lose. That's what's happening. Neither want to lose this. They want as much as they can out of their best player, and we want to get the best player for as minimal as we can. We do want to save pennies, and it might sound like pennies, but we do want to save as much as we can. So we still need other players as well. Reece, do you think in the coming days that we're going to see more movement on this?
Like I said, I think next week it gets done. If they do reject it, I still think Liverpool can come in again. But you can look at it 2 ways. If they say they're not going to go back in, it kind of weakens your hand because then they see it as, okay, you've come back in so we can get the 130 that we want. Or, like I said, it's negotiations, it's tactics. They're kind of telling them that this is the amount. I don't think they've ever got a big amount like that for a player before. And it's like record breaking. And then like Nard said as well, it's 100 million up front. It's not like we're lowballing you. It's 10 million short. It's not like we've offered you 50 or 60 million short. Like we're taking liberties. We're offering you like serious money. And the player wants to go. For me, he's done everything respectfully. We've put the groundwork in. They've done everything respectfully. And I think the role of Edwards and Hughes, I just think they know what they're doing. It's frustrating because of all the news we heard from maybe a week or 2 ago, and we thought, yeah, it's going to be done quickly. But because of the magnitude of the deal and the kind of player you're getting, like I said, he's one of the best at what he does in his position. It does take long, but I do think, like I said, in the next week or so, that will get done, along with Kirkes as well. I think apparently he might be due to do a medical or something like that, I heard as well. But yeah, I think it will get done from this bid for me, I think.
Lee said here, do I really need to get myself dressed and go and help complete the deal myself? It's Saturday morning, mate. How much as a flight from Liverpool to Leverkusen. Would the club reimburse my airfare? Right, to the first question, go for it. Go get dressed. Do what you can, because I think something needs to happen here. Someone needs to push both sides together and just get this sorted. But I don't think the club will reimburse your airfare, if I'm honest. If we're not willing to pay another 10 million for Wirtz, then we're not going to be reimbursing any airfare. We done in Wirtz for me. I'm waiting for him and Milos. Have we signed Wirtz, says Essex Red? I wish, mate. I wish. But it is. I feel like I'm doing it. I feel like I'm doing it for Wirtz every round. It is getting closer. It is all it is a third bid going in. Liverpool have made a third bid. It could be make or break this bid. This could be the last bid, because we don't want to pay up the money that Leverkusen originally asked for. But Leverkusen at some point have got to compromise here. Yes, they have every right of putting him on a certain fee. He's their best player, and if we're like Naj said, if we're like 10 million off, get over it a little bit of it, Lucas. But it is frustrating if we don't get this done, though. If we don't get this done, I've said times again, I don't think we won't fumble it. But if there's any club in the world football to fumble a deal like this, it would be Liverpool, and it would come down to money.
I think everything else is done, though, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
Wirtz contract, the contract for Wirtz, everything, probably numbers been sorted out for him, whatever. Whoever keeps talking about that. I think everything else is sorted out. It's just that I think just the way I see it, right, is like you're not going like obviously the news with Ryan Cherky and Wirtz, people pine off against each other and stuff like that. It's just a bit ridiculous. But there's you to go and get Ryan Cherky, you go right, £35 million or whatever it is, 35 million euros. You can go and get him like that because that is like such a low, amount of money for like a player. Like how much didn't Forest spend like 35 million on one of the midfielders in the last summer? I can't remember. They did something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, but 35 million is like sort of like a fee. Well, Philogene went from Aston Villa to Ipswich for 35 million in January. Like that fee is such like a the type of play you're getting for it. It's a low fee. What I'm trying to say is like that's sort of like a benchmark of what you get for like a decent bit of talent for like a Premier League sort of quality talented player, but not like someone who's like a world beater. Wirtz is someone who's so big already. Like everybody knows who he is. Like he's almost a household name, isn't he? Because of what he's done at Leverkusen already. Like invincible, back-to-back Bundesliga team this season. He had an unbelievable Euros last year. Like everyone knows who he is, and like it's going to be a lot of money. And that amount of money for a club to spend, especially Liverpool. Last big signing we made was Nunes, and that was nowhere near this. It's almost double it. So it's just that's why it's taking time. It's just what happens, isn't it? Like I say, you're not going to go and give him 130 million straight away because that's just not how it works, is it? You're just going to make
Casual Citizen asking me, was it the cable, David? I don't know. I didn't think it was the cable, Casual Citizens. All I did was unplug it. Talk about the Wi-Fi the other night. The Wi-Fi being down for the last couple of nights. Not last night, but the 2 nights before. It's been on and off. But I just unplugged it and plugged it back in again. It's been fine. So I don't know what it was, mate. I don't know what it was. He's not a Liverpool player, and news on Kirk is he's not willing to spend. We're not willing to spend the 45 million for him too. I mean, yeah, that's another issue with Kirk as well. We're holding out for 40 million for what 5 million is. That is a bit like the Lavia deal in terms of the prices. Cheers, David Farr, for the info. They're making up for the Frimpong deal. We got the guy cheap. I mean, I've said this for quite a while. I think they could add on, and we've got to look at the bigger picture here as Liverpool. 29 million, 29.5 million for Frimpong. 113 now for him. That adds up to what? 142 million. Another 8 million makes it 150 million altogether. Are we willing to add another 8 million onto the fee? I think that makes sense. 150 million for both those players. I think it's a deal there, Reece. Don't you think? 150 million for both him and Frimpong.
No, I think it's a good deal, but like I said, it's negotiations, isn't it? So, and obviously, I'm confident in Edwards because for me, you check his track record with Liverpool, he always comes through, and obviously he uses his guy. So if he's backing him, I'm backing him. In terms of the comment, I can't remember he said about the 45 million for Kirkes, that's true. But they did, I'm sure I read something that said for personal reasons, he won't be in Hungary's next game. So for me, those personal reasons, I think, is because something to do with Liverpool. That's what I think is going on there. Obviously, a lot of the time, how we kind of conduct our business, nobody knows every single thing, not even Fab, not even Joyce, not even Ornstein. So they know kind of what the club tells them. So I do think there's little things there that more or less those deals will get done next week.
Dick said here the bid has clearly been accepted. Fabs has been said the agreement is basically reached. Now reports of medical next week. The agreement almost reached, as Fab said, the last details. I'd be very, very careful for Fabrizio Romano, though. I've said it time and time again. Look, he just wants to be first. He'll say the details are done. He'll say that things are like that because when it is done, which is right now, the likelihood it is going to be done, he's going to be like, well, I told you. But he didn't really know. If you listen to Liverpool journalists, best ones out there would be Paul Joyce, would be David Ornstein, would be Lewis Steele, and maybe a closer German journalist, someone like a Sport Builder, something like that. They're probably the best ones out there for this specific deal. Romano, I don't think really knows what's going on there. It's just trying to regurgitate the same news. And if you see his tweets, he'll retweet a last tweet and we like some sort of checker flag saying, "Oh, coming soon" or something like that. It's just all about money for him and getting clicks and views. It must be the small deals that held in a deal up, says Lee. Probably the add-ons. I think it could have been a big part of what the guarantee. It's basically Leverkusen want as much guaranteed as they can, and again that becomes down to add-ons as well as the fixed fee, because some add-ons are much. We've said this, haven't we? Now some add-ons are more likely to happen than other add-ons. Versus generational talent, said Essex Red. Let's get some more up. The fee has been agreed. Fab literally said that Joyce is behind. Fab said the fee is basically agreed. Again, Joyce won't be behind on this. I know Joyce would want to make sure he's fully know what's going on. No deal has been accepted yet. I've not seen any reports of being a deal accepted. I think it's just because it's so far down the line now with the personal terms, and it pretty much has been agreed with the personal terms. All it needs, because it's so far down the line in terms of the whole saga, all it needs is that bid accepted. It's going to go from 0 to 100. As soon as that bid's accepted, if it is accepted, it's going to go 0 to 100. Medical booked, Liverpool player within a few days.
I mean, I always say this about Liverpool, and I've always said this since, more when Edwards is in, he's obviously come back. You don't know what Liverpool are going to do. It's hard for anyone to know, because we're just so, we've known for about 3 weeks that United are signing Mbeumo, because the way they operate, everyone knows we're interested in Wirtz because obviously the interest from City and Bayern by Munich, but this is obviously one of them things that you can't really keep under wraps, can you? Do you know what I mean? A lot of transfers and stuff we sort of keep under wraps, but I think in terms of the deal, we could be sat here now and the deal's been accepted. We don't know. That's how.
I'm always checking.
Yeah, but I think that's how Edwards operates. I think he's always been like that. Even when he had his first stint at Liverpool, deals were just done. You'd be like, oh, do you remember the Fabinho deal? That was just
yeah. Just done in a couple of hours. Wasn't it? It was announced at 2 o'clock in daytime. Done about 5 o'clock at night.
We didn't hear no back and forth. And if you remember Fabinho deal, it was United who were more being linked with him. Liverpool weren't being linked with him, but then you just say done deal.
That's Edwards operates like that. I like that.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I backed Edwards.
So there is some actual breaking news coming out now about Florian Wirtz. Let me get it up 1 second. A medical is scheduled for next week for Florian Wirtz, who goes on holiday. So according to a German outlet,
it's going back.
It's a German newspaper, Cologne Stadt Anzeiger. I don't know who they are, but there's a German newspaper, 133,000 followers on Twitter, so it's a big following. According to them, a medical is booked for Florian Wirtz next week, and he's set to then go on holiday. So it's just going to be constant updates, and you'll see. Just be careful, like I said, be careful for Fabrizio Romano. Do not follow Fabrizio Romano's news on it, because he will tweet at least 20 times today on Florian Wirtz, say it's coming soon. Relax, Reds. But at the end of the day, until it's done, it isn't done. I can see Liverpool walking away from this deal now today. I can't see them doing that. unless they do literally don't accept the bid. If they're absolutely adamant, if Leverkusen are absolutely adamant on that price and that price only, and not accepting anything less, then that's the only way that Liverpool walk away for me.
Edwards won't walk away. Edwards is not that type of. He's not that type of guy. He doesn't.
Yeah, go on, Nash.
He doesn't. Walk.
It's mixed reports, Jinxie. So the bid has definitely it's mixed reports. So what? It's just a waiting game. I know it's frustrating as Liverpool. Liverpool fans and just fans in general, we're very, very impatient, aren't we? We're just very impatient, especially when it comes to transfers. We've been hurt so many times, Liverpool fans. We've been so close. We've seen to the point where Nabil Fekir was on the club's website, in a Liverpool shirt. That's how far we've got to a player being a Liverpool player. You can't even go any farther than that. In fact, it's pretty much done. And then it still didn't happen. So I think it's hard to be patient, but I think, I can imagine the frustration in the fan base. I can imagine why people are panicking. And again, I'm not going to be on here saying don't panic, because I don't like people. I've seen like big aggregate accounts telling people not to panic. They'd be weirdos for panicking. There's reason to panic because of past things, but I'm not panicking. I think it'll happen. So I think Reece thinks it happens, and Nige thinks it happens as well. But yeah, it is a patient game right now. I think it is just wait, sit here and wait. Obviously, he plays tomorrow. Potentially, I don't know if he's going to play tomorrow yet. We'll see if he doesn't or not. But I think certainly Monday, Tuesday, we will certainly see much more. It'll be clearer to see what happens. Essex Red here, you set me up nicely for what I was about to say anyway. Well, Wirtz says he's joining Liverpool with a nod when the reporter asked him. I don't think he did. I don't think he heard Lewis Steele fully and what he said. I think he just heard his name and he sort of nodded to him. But speaking of Lewis Steele anyway, so we've got Lewis Steele coming on to Talking Reds next week. I'll let you know a specific day when he does come on. He's going to give us all exclusives on Wirtz, on everything else. So hopefully next week is going to be a big, big week for not only Talking Reds, but a big week for Florian Wirtz. Next week is the week that we're going to be hopefully over the line for Florian Wirtz. More to come on that. So, but you also join us tonight as well at 7:00. We've got end of season awards at 7:00 for Liverpool Player of the Season, things like that. Moment of the season, performance of the seasons. We're going to get it all tonight, and it's going to be more interactive. It's going to be more about you guys at home. You guys get your votes as well in live on stream, and we'll get our votes as well, and we'll accumulate who wins each award at the end of the night. Thank you for watching today's special episode on Latest News. That is your Florian Wirtz update on that. Thank you everyone for watching. Make sure you do help us out. If you can help us out, like the video, will help us out massively. Subscribe to the channel if you are new for all latest Liverpool updates and Liverpool content in general. Again, join us next week for Lewis Steele exclusive as well on everything else. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, guys.